Hello, I'm Steven, Sebastian, and my boy Rory. Shout out my producer Benjamin in the back. Welcome to Westeros' finest radio station.
Today we'll be discussing the history of the Lannisters. Enjoy. So, for House Lannister. So the Lannisters are one of the richest and most powerful houses in all of Westeros. It's now the royal house. Their crest is a golden lion rampant on a crimson field. The Lannisters became allies with many other powers of Westeros, such as Stormlands and the Reach, who are now vacant of a great house to rule the area thanks to the Lannisters.
They have many vassal houses, 17 to be exact. The most famous being House Clegane. They have many titles, such as King of the Andals and the First Man, Protectors of Seven Kingdoms, Lord of Casterly Rock, Lord Paramount of the Westerlands, and Wardens of the West.
Territories that they occupy are the following: Westerlands and the Crownlands. Other important territories that they occupy are Casterly Rock, King's Landing, and Lannisport. The founder of this wealthy house is Lan the Clever. It is said that he became the Lord of Casterly Rock by causing turmoil within the Casterlys when he found a passage into the castle, hence the Clever of his title.
So now let's start talking about the family tree. So Titus Lannister gave birth to Tywin and Kevan Lannister. Kevan is Tywin's cousin and doesn't play an important part in the show. Tywin Lannister is was one of the most important characters of the show before he died in season 4.
Yeah, by his dwarf son, who he hated very much.
So basically, Tywin, we never really met his wife, but he had 3 kids. He had Cersei, the queen, sadly. We had Jaime Lannister, who was also the one who killed the previous king, so we call him the Kingslayer. And we have Tyrion Lannister, who's a midget.
Well, in the show he's called the dwarf. And he essentially caused the death of Tywin's wife at birth. So Tywin's role in the show is mostly he's the hand of the guy on the throne. Let's talk about Cersei. Cersei's his one and only daughter. Well, Tywin's daughter.
Basically, she's an alcoholic. She drinks wine for a living. She drinks for breakfast, morning, lunch,
and dinner, and for snacks. So essentially, she's just the classic alcoholic that's very angry all the time. Everybody hates her.
Basically, in this show, she's the character that you love to hate. Like, everything she does, you're so satisfied, but you hate that the fact that she did it.
So now let's talk about Tyrion. Tyrion is the dwarf of the 3 children, and his dad absolutely despises him. Everybody's always hated him since the beginning, except for Jaime. Jaime's been a pretty cool dude.
Jaime's always been there for him. Also, Bran. No, not Bran. What's his name?
Brienne.
No, the other guy. The guy.
Yeah, it's Brienne.
No, the guy with long hair.
Brienne.
No.
Jamie!
No, the
No,
other guy.
I know there's Jaime.
Bronn.
Bronn.
Not Brienne.
Bronn. Thanks to our
Bronn.
producer.
Sorry.
We got Bronn's name. So Bronn. Shout out to Bronn.
He's a pretty cool dude.
He was a pretty cool dude.
But we're not going to talk about him.
No, that's not really a Lannister.
That important.
He's broke. So,
essentially, Cersei hates Tyrion because she blames him for his mother's death and for all the problems originated in the family. Also, she thinks that he killed one of her sons, but we'll get into that later.
Also, well, he did kill someone. Like, he did kill his own father with a crossbow while he was in the bathroom at night.
Yep.
And ever since, he just left his house and didn't come back until season 8.
After he got blamed for killing the king, which was Cersei's son, he was locked up and stuff, and then he got angry, got out and killed his father, which is why his father died, and then went off to drink, because he's a drunk. He's an alcoholic. And after he killed his father, he left, and essentially he joined Daenerys' cause, so he joined like her little squad.
And also before he was shipped to wherever Daenerys was, he was also forced to marry Sansa Stark.
Right, which he was very kind about because he didn't want to marry Sansa the same way that Sansa didn't want to marry him.
He already had like a girl he loved, and that girl literally just turned her back at him.
You know, she was a prostitute, and he made her believe that he didn't want her because for her own safety, because everybody thought that he killed the king, so he was worried for her safety. But she didn't take it so well.
And
She didn't think that it was for her own safety, and it was just that Tyrion actually hated her.
And in court, she just just invented some stuff so he can actually die. But at the end of the day, he still didn't die.
Yeah, he also killed the prostitute because she slept with his dad, which was very interesting.
Yeah, this show is really something, guys. This show, you're always lost. You don't know what's happening. But when something makes sense, it's amazing. Like, something can happen in season 1, and you don't know what happens, but in season 8, it's gonna explain. So you're gonna wait 7 seasons until you know.
But everything makes sense.
You're gonna wait 7 seasons.
Essentially, everybody loves Tyrion, and that's the gist of Tyrion.
He's one of the most appreciated Lannisters. It's not the most.
Well, he is the most appreciated Lannister.
So let's go on with the Kingslayer Jaime. So Jaime, he has 3 kids actually with his sister Cersei. Yes, you heard it correctly. He had an affair with his sister. So they had 3 kids.
So Jaime's story. He has the title of the Kingslayer because he killed who was the Mad King, and the Mad King was some guy who
was a Targaryen back then.
Yeah, and he was the king, like the all-time really cool king, right? So the king of the 7 kingdoms. And nobody really liked him. He was very cruel. He would burn people alive because he got a message from the gods. And anyways, so he killed him, and then at one point he lost his arm, so now he has a golden arm and a really cool sword.
But he can't really fight properly with one hand, so it's pretty hard for him.
So he had to learn how to fight with his left.
By Braun.
At the end of season 8, he got into a fight with his sister, which is also, well, not really his wife. I don't know. Anyways, the mother of his children. Well, they're all dead.
The girl that they're all dead. No,
yeah.
yes,
they're all dead. Yeah. Anyways, so he ended up by leaving, and that's how it ended for Jaime for the story. So
well, they had a fight because basically Cersei made a deal with Tyrion about the White Walkers.
Not just Tyrion, all the houses.
Yeah, all the houses. And Jaime was for what Cersei was saying, but she made a promise. But her plan was to like backstab them, and Jaime wasn't okay with that. So he decided that okay, I'm not gonna go along with her decision. So I'm gonna go join them anyway.
Yeah, even though and it's also Cersei threatened his life, so he was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, and also Cersei has a bodyguard that's dead that came back to life like Jon Snow, but just that he's a tougher type.
He's some giant. Well, not giant, but he's just a very, very tall.
They call him the Mountain. He killed Prince Oberyn.
Yep, by squeezing his head. Yeah,
that was pretty.
That was
something.
That was
fun. You guys have to see that scene. And so let's go to Cersei.
Yeah.
Cersei. Well, she's hated by everyone who watches the show.
And everyone
in the show.
Except for 2 people. Jaime. Well, I guess.
Well, Jaime until season 8.
Most of her offsprings like her. I think one son likes her and one daughter likes her. The other one killed himself because of her. And everybody hates her. Even the religious people. The religious people at one point took her and made her walk naked through the streets and stuff. And
with someone saying shame, shame, shame. So that's where all the vines come from, all the memes come from. So we'll show you a little part of that scene. Anyway, so to go on, Cersei, she's also an alcoholic like her little midget brother Tyrion. She drinks wine for a living, breakfast, lunch, supper, all day, every day. So yeah, so she's a character you're not supposed to be messing with. Literally, you don't know what's gonna happen. You have no idea. She killed a lot of people with fire. What was it? It was the green fire.
Oh yeah, the worm fire or something.
Yeah, that. So you
dragon flame.
Yeah, so you're not supposed to.
Ben producer, what's it called? The green flames and stuff.
We'll come back to you with this. So
Wildfire.
There we go. Okay, so yeah, so she killed a lot of people, including one of her son's wife that he loved. And that's why, like he said before, he committed suicide. He jumped off the castle.
Okay.
So now let's start talking about Jaime's and Cersei's wonderful children. So
We're all pretty messed up. There's three. There's one daughter and two sons.
Yeah.
So the daughter essentially,
died.
well, okay.
Well,
She got sent to marry somebody for like some peace offering thing, and then after a while, since Prince Oberyn got killed by the mountain,
and his wife didn't really appreciate that.
yeah, and blamed it on
So-
Cersei,
yeah,
so
so
she
basically-
killed the daughter.
She poisoned the daughter with a kiss and she transmitted poison into her mouth while they were kissing. Yeah,
Don't have to explain that.
Yeah, so
Anyways,
it's something it's something to
and
watch the show.
so the first son, the eldest, who became a king, his name is
Tommen. Joffrey.
Joffrey.
Tommen was the second king.
Yeah, Tommen was the second king, and Joffrey was pretty messed up. So he was like toying with Sansa, and
He's killed a lot of people.
he just felt like killing them, so he kind of did.
At one scene, you just saw like a prostitute hanging on his bed with arrows shot into her stomach and chest and everywhere. So
Yeah, and somebody would hire prostitutes for him, send him to his room, and he would make them fight each other because for him that was very enjoyable.
So as you can see, Joffrey wasn't the brightest lad.
And he had this whole party thing, and he made these dwarves do this whole reenactment and everything to insult Tyrion because he had fun insulting and stuff Tyrion because he was a dwarf.
Also,
Even though Tyrion didn't really care.
He basically had Steven's humor.
even if Joffrey wasn't, even if Joffrey was a man, it really didn't look like it. He was scared.
He acted like a boy.
He acted like a girl, to be honest with you. He was scared of fighting
The stereotype of
an 8-year-old girl with a wooden sword. And he lost to that 8-year-old girl with a wooden sword.
Essentially, he got poisoned and he died. And then Cersei became really angry at everybody. But then, her other son,
Tommen
Tommen,
took the.
came along and to save the day, took the throne. And
He did a better job than Joffrey did.
he did a better job.
He
Yeah.
did a way better job. He got a higher job.
Everybody loved him. He was gonna have a daughter with some girl.
Everyone loved him because of his wife Marjorie, who was actually a really good person.
Yeah.
Who died in the wildfire.
But she made him do good things as well.
So
Cersei was trying to make her do bad things. Make him. Sorry, I keep confusing both genders. Anyways, so at one point, Cersei kills Marjorie,
in
and
the wildfire, just like
Yeah.
everybody else.
and Tommen just decided that it was time to jump off a ledge. So he jumped off the top of the castle and killed himself. And that's what happened to the three sons. And then that's how you figure out that's why Cersei is an alcoholic that hates everybody. But most of her sons' deaths is her fault. For example, Joffrey, she got killed because Marjorie's mother was mad at Cersei, so she killed Joffrey. Her daughter got killed because they were mad at Cersei, and Tommen killed himself because of Cersei.
Because he was mad at
Yeah.
Cersei.
Which makes sense why she's very depressed.